is it a dream? Could this even happen? We live in the middle of the ocean, and every way we turn we can see water. It appears as if it will never run out. So what could the problem be? The problem is this. Water demand on Oahu has been rising steadily at a rate of about 1 million gallons per day each year. The United States Geological Survey estimates that we are already using about 80% of Oahu's available groundwater, water held underground or caught up in rocks. However, the problem doesn't just apply to our island home. It also applies to our nation at large, where resources are more plenty but population pressure is even greater. The great states of Arizona, California, and Nevada have all drawn large amounts of drinking water from the nearby Colorado River Basin since 1922, regulated by the Colorado River Compact. For the majority of the river's history, each state used less than their full allocation. In 1990, however, a landmark was reached when the 3 states consumed the total allocation for the first time. The U.S. Department of the Interior predicts that the ecological system will tighten up as each state continues to draw its full share. Meanwhile, other water troubles in California have proven to have more than just ecological effects. The San Joaquin Valley, a once booming fertile center of agriculture, used to draw much of its water from the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta, diverting water to feed the valley's more than 5 million acres of farmland. Now, after 30 years of virtually uncontrolled diversion, the valley has overdrawn for too long. Drought conditions are causing farmlands to dry up, in addition to new laws passed that limit the amount of water that can be diverted to the area. With the scarcity of water in the valley, farmers can no longer produce as much food as they used to. The San Joaquin Valley produces up to 95% of certain goods, including apricots, almonds, and olives. Prices remain generally low because of the economy of scale capable in the valley, where soil is nutritious and a plethora of crops are able to grow. However, with cutbacks on the amount of water farmers can draw, demand continues to increase with the growing American population, while supply shrinks down. This drives prices up for many in America, since the valley produces so much food that is shipped to virtually all parts of the country. Issues with water, however, do not stop there. In fact, they do not stop in America at all. In places like Ethiopia, where the supply of potable water is low, some 3/4 of people do not have access to clean drinking water. Even in more developed countries like China, formerly habitable lands are becoming desert due to overdrawing from groundwater and aquifers. 20% of the entire landscape of China is entering into desertification. Because water is one of the ultimately inelastic goods, the government of China constantly relocates large numbers of people from arid areas to more urban areas, where more water resources are available. Yet still, the absolute human need for water and the scarcity of water in the northern areas of China have forced the government to start the South-to-North Water Diversion Project, which will, at great monetary cost, pump water from the water-rich south to the water-poor north of China. China, however, is only one example of the fact that the amount of water on Earth is constant, and that water can only be shifted around. If, according to journalist Stephen Solomon, the usage of water increases at a rate double that of the population increase, and only 2% of all the water on Earth is accessible by man for drinking in its current form, how can we tackle this multifaceted challenge that spans social, political, and economic boundaries? One answer is collaborative work. This summer, I participated with 5 other Punahou seniors in the inaugural Student Global Leadership Institute 2010, an intensive 2-week summit hosted at Punahou School that brought together rising high school seniors from top schools in the United States and China to develop leadership skills and cooperate on addressing the Institute's theme of water. In the first week, we explored the various issues related to water by listening to presentations from several experts.
Some kind of hidden cause or effect that's...
It means there are going to be more extreme droughts, more extreme floods, things that happen out of season. And what I think, when you really should think, when you think of climate change, I think of it as the water crisis in hyperdrive.
and honed our collaborative skills through activities and small group work dedicated to collaborative learning from each other. In the second week, we divided into our school groups to develop social action proposals that would address a water issue in our communities. Finally, we presented these to the Punahou community.
Our mission is to design and construct a water-efficient home for a socio-economically disadvantaged family that will reduce water usage and costs. This model home will be used as an educational outreach tool to publicize the environmentally sustainable and economical need for the more efficient use of water on a global level.
From those ideas, we started to put our plans into motion. In early September, we met with the Faith and Community Relations Director of Honolulu Habitat for Humanity, Ms. Annie Hollis, to propose a partnership between the Punahou SGLI Group and Honolulu Habitat for Humanity to change the current appliances Habitat uses on build projects to more water-efficient ones. We also proposed the idea of our group building such a house equipped with water-efficient appliances, inside and out. After approval from the Habitat Board, we started our campaign by exploring rain barrels, large hollow drums that capture rainwater diverted from a gutter system. Our first project from Habitat is the Waialua home of James and Tamako Vasconcelos. We plan to install 4 rain barrels on the home to allow Mrs. Vasconcelos to take care of her garden in a sustainable way. Given the average rainfall in Waialua and the size of the roof of the house, this will save the family almost 18,000 gallons of water per year. While this dramatic number is quite a victory for our group, this installation is really only our first step in a long journey. The Punahou SGLI Group's ultimate goal is to change the way people think about water consumption. An integral part of this is showing people the different choices available to them and the different opportunity costs involved. A prime example is the monetary incentive provided when people have to choose between the opportunity cost of a more expensive appliance and the opportunity cost of saving more water. For example, when my family recently renovated the downstairs bathroom, we chose to buy a toilet with a lower flush, not only because it saves us water in the long run, but also because we got a rebate. The government, through policy intended to sway people's choices, provides an added incentive for those thinking about water-efficient appliances. Similar to this economic application, this project resonated with me because it took the knowledge I gained from Punahou classes out of its vacuum and allowed me to apply it to real-world situations. During the SGLI, I made my biology honors teacher proud by applying my knowledge of the hydrologic cycle during our group presentation. The sole source of pure fresh water. From there, in the natural cycle, the water will drain back into the ocean and eventually evaporate back into the clouds, where it will again continue that same cycle. I also had the opportunity to use my mathematical skills to calculate total possible savings based on changing appliances in a given household. That in 15 years, we'll both save the amount of water in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and we'll get the money back that it costs to save them to buy those appliances. While working on the Vasconcelos home, I was able to apply the skills that I learned in 7th and 8th grade shop class. When we complete the installation of the rain barrels on the home, I plan to use Bernoulli's equation and the equation for continuity of flow rate from AP Physics B to calculate the potential flow rate from the barrels. In another application of what I have learned at Punahou, I now see the mission of the school in a different light. Developing social responsibility involves a deep commitment to finding the root causes of problems, and largely entails working together with others to tackle wicked problems that plague many but cannot be solved by one. Where society takes care of me, I must take care of my society. But it also involves making choices with the future in mind, such as my family's decision to shop at the local farmers market at Kapiolani Community College. Some of the produce is more expensive, but the opportunity cost of purchasing food at a grocery store is greater because of the water and oil involved in transportation costs. Where society takes care of me, I must take care of my society. At the same time, I have always wanted change to come rapidly, yet now I realize that I must wait and go through the process, for that is the only way that mass change can ever be accomplished. We started out wishing to change large portions of Habitat's inner workings, but our lofty goals have been reduced to working on rain barrels. Our group has met over this several times and gone through hundreds of emails, but we have hope that successfully concluding this smaller project will lead us to an increased role in Habitat's conservation efforts. As citizens, my group members and I continue to look out for the root causes of such issues and continue to lead others to more sustainable choices by participating in projects with Habitat. In short, our work is just like this house, unfinished.